What is good, y'all? What is good? Thanks for tuning in today. Very special edition of Dad Beats podcast. This is episode number 5. Once again, with Dad Beats, basically our goal here is to, basically discuss the joys and the challenges of being a creative and a producer, with responsibilities with the family. So, we thank everybody for tuning in today, and welcome to the big homie Ski Beats. What's good, brother?
What's good?
Hey man, how you doing?
Good,
doing?
bro.
Good.
Good, man. Excited about this smack pack you got coming up. You know what I'm saying? So we're definitely going to be getting into that. But first, I just want to introduce my co-host once again, the brother King O Caesar.
What's the word? I'm glad to be here once again. God bless everybody. Hope you're having a great day.
Yes, sir.
And the brother Lifting Noise.
What's good, everyone? How's it going? Glory be to God. Welcome,
Absolutely.
Ski.
Hey man, thank you.
Somebody's got them Sports Center notifications.
Yeah, it's fantasy football day, so alerts is going off. You see, I got my Michigan. I'll be watching football. I'm a football dude, so.
Bet. All right, so look, we'll get right into it, Ski. First, we want to thank you for coming through. You're a huge inspiration for all of us. We've had this discussion, multiple times between the three of us. But we just wanted to give you your flowers while you're here, man. We just thank you for everything you contribute to the producer community, all the inspiration throughout the years. Just want to kind of start things off with that.
Yeah, man. Love. I appreciate you guys, man. For sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, getting into it, the podcast, I know we didn't get a chance to really chop it up before, we jumped in. But like I said, it's about, kind of having responsibilities, and it's based on, us being producers and fathers. I never got a chance to ask you, do you have any kids?
Got 2 boys.
2 boys? Younger or older?
Sir. Oh man, one is 24, one is 16.
Oh,
you got the hard stuff out the way already.
Yeah, he got all the hard stuff out the way. You about to have them out the nest.
Yes, sir.
That's what's good. I mean, you find it frees you up for a lot more work when they're older like that?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when they're young, you got to watch them every 5 seconds, make sure they don't kill themselves. And it's good that they're older, and obviously gives me time to really zone out. Plus, my boys, they don't live with me. They live with their mom. So, but I have them every week. So,
gotcha.
That's what's up. How old are the boys?
One is 16 and one is 24.
Oh, yeah. So, man, I tell you, like, how that like influence you, like in your younger years, though, like when you was trying to, do your thing on the producer scene and all that with like having younger kids?
I just worked at night. I worked when they were asleep. During the day, I just spent time with them, did the dad thing, and when everybody went to sleep, I got busy.
Yeah.
So no sleep for you.
No sleep for me.
I got a question for you, Kane and Mine. So, are your boys influenced by your music? Are they into music? Is that something that's been passed down?
My oldest is. My youngest, not so much. My oldest, he's trying to MC. He's working his 9 to 5. Doing his little mixed martial art thing, and at the same time trying to write rhymes. He's getting into it. My youngest son, video games, computers, you already know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Fortnite, all that, Call of Duty.
All that, exactly.
So I was going to say, you have a real, as far as your presence in the producer community, you have a real kind of, I call it like a lead by example type of vibe. You don't do a whole lot of talking, you do a whole lot of work, and you really, kind of let the work speak for itself. Do you think that came about as a result of you having kids?
Man, I think that came by as a result of me being in different types of things when I was younger to kind of like build my discipline. You know what I mean? Like I was in martial arts. I took